everything else and
Yeah.
equipment. So
Right, so
we're not
someone's gotta
there
run
yet, but
Excel
we
on
have
that, yeah.
another board or commission
What's that?
to, we
Yeah.
have another committee to actually look
Someone's
at that.
gotta, yeah, someone's gotta run that, and I just threw it out there because, you know, the other part of that equation is this goes away, yeah, or not, or whatever.
Maybe,
Yeah,
we hope.
okay, great, so we did that. So I would like to entertain a motion to, thank you for putting up with that, to move items 15, 16, and 17, discussion of Town Hill operating expense budget, discussion of town administrator's budget, discussion of civic appropriations budget, to our next meeting. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Okay. So I heard Jennifer move it and Brandon second it. Sorry, Joe. You get that, Tom?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
Yes, and can we add the street lighting on the next agenda also, because we don't have all the details yet and we wanted them? Or is that possible?
Want to bring it back?
Yeah.
Well, I think is though, is that gonna require, I'm just trying to give Rick a break, and I don't,
He doesn't have
No,
to
we
be
were
back
gonna
for that.
ask Denise
Okay.
Surratt.
And unfortunately, I have to be here anyway.
all right, so can you represent on that?
I will try. I mean,
Try,
it-
we'll put it on, if you can talk about it,
Yeah,
great.
the other thing is that he doesn't have to be back for is the building maintenance division and parks. But parks may come with, well, it can be done. as-
Okay, so that doesn't, we don't have to move that, we went through that agenda item, so we don't have to move it in this motion, Ruth. I can just get reminded to add it on the agenda, okay?
Okay.
So I have a motion and a second, discussion, all those in favor? Joe, you okay with that? Okay, unanimous, great. Okay, so those are all on the next agenda, 15, 16, 17, thank you. Now, approval of minutes, from, January 24th, they were emailed out, and they are in front of us somewhere.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick and Jan.
I think you're finally out of here, Rick, for a few weeks anyway, probably. Thank you for that.
You have an enormous, extraordinarily large job. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
My name was spelled wrong.
Is it Z? It's Z.
S. It's on the agenda wrong.
You told me Z. I changed it with S and I
That's
changed it to
fine.
Z.
That's that.
I can't keep it straight. I had him as S, I changed it to
And
Z.
during the in the minutes, sometimes it was right, and then other times it was wrong.
Ah, I went and changed it to Z. I'm sorry, Joe. I'll show him I'm gonna make it Z.
And Jeff, I'm Jennifer J. Actually, not C. But Brendan is Brendan C. McNally.
But you know what? That's interesting, because I think I pulled these off the town website. Okay, you're Jennifer who, J?
Jennifer J. Rash.
Okay. So, where are the minutos here? Is that in the minutes, or is that just the agenda you're looking
That
at?
was on the agenda.
Joe, your name's correct in the minute.
Gotta find them,
There's
my
one
copies of the minutes
section in the
here.
minutes under discussion.
Hang on, we gotta find them here.
Further down, one of the discussions that we had. I don't have the copy of the minutes with me.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them here myself.
Print them out, I don't know.
Is this it
They
here?
might have been.
Darn it, where'd our
January
minutes go?
24th?
Minutes out.
They were
It's
here,
online.
somehow they, mine
I don't know if they got
disappeared too.
printed. Are you saying they got printed?
One of the items talked
Yeah, they were printed, they were here a little while ago, I just buried them.
Oh, okay.
Chaos.
24th, do you have any minutes from 24th? I don't think I do either.
No, it's further down.
Are they over here?
No, they were out, you handed them all out, it's just that they've gotten buried.
I don't know if
You're
anyone
under
handed them
Bay
out.
Street, Joe as a Z.
Okay, it was on Bay Street, that's right.
Are these then?
They were handed
Should
out.
be
I thought they
January
were- When I
24th.
sat down here, mine were
They
in
are.
front of me.
No?
No, the 24th is the one, January 24th.
Nice dense,
They were in front of
Oh,
me.
town
It was just
council.
two
Nope, sorry.
sheets, right? Does anyone have the minutes from tonight?
I printed them out.
Or from, that were on the table here?
No,
No?
no, I
So they weren't
printed these
printed?
out.
I read them online.
Because Sherry,
I don't think they were printed.
Sherry said, I'm sorry, maybe I'm totally wrong, and I thought Sherry.
There was some stuff on the table.
Sherry just said that, Sherry had indicated to me
Maybe
that
she
she
took them with her.
you had them printed and everything were ready to go, they're not in the box. Because she had indicated, I called her like 2 hours ago. before the
The
meeting.
agendas were there, but not the minutes.
Okay.
Maybe that was it. I think she had the agenda for tonight and for Saturday.
So let's not approve them without,
Well, I have it on the computer, I can put it up on the screen. I mean, if you, I know I've read them, but.
They were sent an email, is what you're saying.
Next week.
I didn't bring my.
Students just
Just-
falling behind, that's all.
Just do it next week.
It's all right,
Sorry, I'll take a few minutes for those.
do them next week,
Yeah.
it's fine.
And one thing, we last year, we went through, that she's doing a great job. This is a lot of work and all. I don't know if we need this level of detail. I'm open, people want it. We have, we're videotaped and recorded that everyone can see, so kind of getting at the substance, but making it more simple in terms of motions,
Sure.
how votes go, and not necessarily get into where people stand on certain issues. Because we got through a lot of back and forth, because someone didn't feel as though they were captured last year. So it would just, I think, save a lot of work on Sherry and others, but I don't want to cut that off if people really like it. She's done a good job. I think for some of them,
Yeah.
it's this clarification. I think it's kind of incumbent on us to take our good notes to know. So I'd recommend that, just have her be a lot more, streamlined in
I'm fine
terms
with
of that.
I'm fine with that.
Does that make sense to everyone?
The copies aren't here, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Totally
it too. I
happy
think
with
she
it.
just went a little bit more detail on one of the major discussions that we had, which was a little more important. I think it was the public comment?
Yep.
So I think that was why she went in detail, because it was a big, long discussion.
Well, bullets would be better. It would be easier
Yeah,
for everybody to
that's-
read. We all take our notes, we do have the video.
It's a lot of work.
Well, this
You
is-
know,
yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
lot
this
of
is
work,
great,
and-
But it's,
I agree.
Yeah, it's their.
And when
a
you,
little much.
when you miss one thing, it's hard. It's hard to,
They're really good.
it's hard to get all the
Okay.
detail in.
well, Jeff, can I make a suggestion to you?
So, yeah, I just thought we had them copied, that's all, I'm sorry, yes.
This is the second time this has sort of happened. I think we're getting a little ambitious in each meeting. We schedule a little bit too much,
Okay,
especially when you get, we're coming up on some things that are gonna be really involved. So if we try to do 5 of them in one night, we're gonna find out we're rescheduling them,
okay.
or we're liable to.
Mm-hmm,
And like our very first long discussion, none of us had any idea it was gonna take an hour and 15 minutes,
mm-hmm.
but it did.
Yeah, I know, I'd rather, I guess,
It's better,
I just don't wanna run out of things too,
no, but it's better maybe to underachieve a little bit than try to stretch ourselves too far.
Yeah, okay,
Underachieve for 1 week,
Well,
okay.
test it out.
yeah. I mean, if push comes to shove, and we've done it, you can always schedule another special meeting.
Mhm.
We could be like town council and have 70% be special.
Okay, so we'll approve the minutes next week, thank you, Jay, for that. We'll approve the minutes next week. So administrative items, the site visit this coming week is, we have the agenda, fire stations 1, 2, and 3. I think that is something that we all had.
Yes.
And then, I have next week's agenda I'll put together. As of right now, I don't have any formal visitors coming in. Doesn't mean I won't, but as of right now, I don't. The site visit after that is the school, the high school, and the middle school on February the 9th. And I believe that we have the 3 elementary schools set up for the 16th, but I'm still waiting for the final confirmation on that. I believe it's okay, that's the email I got. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, for that. On February the 14th, which will be Valentine's Day, police and fire coming in. Sorry,
Oh,
for those of you who
You
celebrate
switched
that.
from site visits to testimony.
So yeah, on February 14th, yeah. It's just, how it work, how the cards fall.
Hey, honey, that's allowed.
Valentine's Day.
So which fire station are we meeting at on Saturday?
I don't, it's on the agenda, and I don't mean to be
Station 2.
flippant about it.
Station
It's,
2 Main Road. Main Road, North End.
Station 2 Main Road.
Okay.
North Tiverton. So it starts at North Tiverton, for anybody in TV land. It starts in North Tiverton, 85 Main Road, Fire Station 2 at 9 AM on Saturday, February 2nd. And the tour will start there. I don't know how long we'll be there. But then it's gonna proceed to Station 3, which is at 45 Crandall Road. And then from there, it's gonna proceed down south a bit more to Station 1, Fire Station 1 at 287 East Road. And there's 2 phone numbers on the agenda, which is online as well. And those phone numbers, if anyone needs to catch up with the tour, they can call those numbers, and it should ring members who have agreed to be there. And that's just another way to try to catch up with the tour, okay?
Thank you.
That's really helpful.
So
So-
should we take attendance of who will be at the
Oh,
fire station?
yeah, we should, thank you for that. So,
So,
who will be able to make this, make the fire tours this weekend, the fire station tours?
We should be able to.
yeah, I don't think
I'm questionable at this
so.
point.
One of
Okay, great, 1, 2, yeah, so we'll definitely have a good chunk. I'm questionable at this point. So that's good, okay.
Jen is not back yet, so she won't be there. I don't know about Justin
Yeah,
or
I don't know,
Sherry.
maybe he'll still be wired up, who knows? I don't know. But anyway, we have a good posse to show up for that.
You can bring a battery pack.
No, it's just a medical test, and it's just, the way he worded it. So, the other item, so we can get out of here, is, the only other thing I have on there is schedule site visits. I wanted, on the closing remarks, I realized too on the agenda, I've gotta add that item, this is more a note to myself. But I should be putting on here too, based on our solicitor's guidance, I should have in all these discussions, it should say discussion and preliminary vote. That's what it should say, right? Based on what he said.
If that's what
If
we're
that's what we're gonna
intending to do.
Well, but we don't know, right? So, I mean, the whole idea of our vote last week was that any votes we take are preliminary. So, in theory, like, we could vote on a number and it's preliminary, and we established that, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago. So, like, we could vote on these things, they're preliminary, but according to the solicitor, like, we wouldn't, like, it doesn't say anything about voting here, so just so we don't get into any kind of trouble, I think every one of these things should say discussion and preliminary vote, and if we don't vote, we don't vote, because you can't overnotice, you know?
Because he said we didn't need to say possible.
Right, and then we do off where possible, right, just to cover our, and that way if we take a vote on a thing, then we're covered.
Yeah,
Right?
just because we say we might doesn't mean we have to.
We'll get to
Yeah, we never get
items
everything
where
done,
We'll
so.
know, those are the expenses.
Right,
There's not any
we
room
could.
to argue.
Right, and then, yeah, and
We just need
either
to
way,
move
it's
on.
not fine, and if we do, and we still, because of the vote we took last week, anyone can bring it back up to revisit after March 6th or whatever it was, like, it's still, by definition preliminary. Okay, so the 2 things I need to change on the agenda, that was what I wanted to say, in the closing comments. So I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?